Good afternoon. So I'm doing the thing that I've done in the past where I try to catch a map late and I'm right in the middle of joining an event when I start recording and streaming. So no idea how this is going to work out. I don't know if this map is adequately prepared or adequately manned to complete this event. I would say it looks marginally manned and marginally prepared, but we'll see how it works out. There's no indication right now that it's going to be a catastrophic failure. I don't know that there are indications it's going to be a wild success, but we'll see how it works out. So the goal for today was not necessarily to try to complete, advanced gliding or anything like that. But as I was logging in, I realized that north and south need help. All right, not looking good. And I'm not in a position to help south, certainly. I could make an effort to go north, but I think what we're going to discover is maybe this map just isn't adequately prepared. And alright, so north actually got it. But with 10 seconds left, I don't see west moving, so it is going to reset. Oh, or not? So none of that is really, the character is not my problem with this story instance. My problem with this story instance primarily lies in the mechanics. It feels like this never works right. So I made a couple of videos ago. I made reference to Sun's Refuge and an old PlayStation game called Suikoden. And we kind of almost continue to get that feel as we add people to our entourage, and the center of gravity for that being our little place here, right? Which is exactly what you did in that game. When you added people, you added them to your little home area, your castle.
Nice to meet you, too.
Introductions can wait. We need to get this sword lit.
The interesting thing is about that, and actually, this is something that I'm I don't want to say really passionate about, but I guess you could say I kind of believe strongly in, I believe that my opinion on this is the correct opinion. I think there are a lot of people who would be very interested in good home instances in this game, a good housing system in this game. I know there are plenty of people who aren't interested, but if they thought people were interested in fishing and boats, if they thought that was enough to carry an expansion, surely housing is something they could add to an expansion. I mean, I think the demand for housing, good housing, is much more significant than any demand that ever existed for boats and fishing. And they have all the mechanics for it already in the game, all the technical capability, everything. Within an instance, that, everything that the guild halls are is what housing needs to be. Maybe there are technical limitations behind the curtain on the guild halls that are a problem for that to be used by players for individual housing or whatever, but everything that guild halls are is what they should have for home instances. 100%. And then they could really go bananas with this concept. And instead of this, because as soon as this chapter 4 ends, this becomes pretty much irrelevant. I think maybe once in chapter 5 or chapter 6, I think there's one more time maybe when we come back here. I might even be mistaken on that. And we can add, when we came in here and it was the instance and not a story instance, you saw there were little symbols around some of these spots. Those are quests where we can add little things to it and stuff. But all that is temporary and unrewarding because you never really return to it after this chapter, right? If they created a housing system that worked the same way, it was set up like the guild halls, you could decorate it like the guild halls, you could get decoration stuff like you do with the guild halls.
Commander,
Um,
before you go, can we...
but it was for an individual, and then in addition to the things that you can do in guild hall style, you can also you could also add people through achievements in the game. So you do a thing, and now Koss hangs out, and which I would not want. Like, I find it annoying these in the game, but Koss hangs out in your home instance and does whatever. But some will be harder than others. So to get Osei over here, like, it's a really hard achievement, or to get the statue of Cormyr is like a really hard achievement. So it can be like a prestige thing, right? Just like in other games where you can let people visit your house and they see your prestige stuff. And then there could also be things that you could put in your guild hall, different thematic things, or thematic things,
I just wanted to say...
the Inquest furniture package, and it's like 20 different pieces of furniture that you can, all Inquest style, that you can put in your home instance. And like, all this is
never gave up on me.
just a boatload of money waiting to sail right into ArenaNet's little metaphorical harbor. And again, I understand not every player wants that. Not every player plays Guild Wars 2 for that. But not every player plays Guild Wars 2 for raids. Not every player plays Guild Wars 2 for World vs. World. Not every player plays Guild Wars 2 for the Living World content. And it's that variety that's going to make you money. And again, if you think you can make money off boats and fishing, then you have to believe you can make money off of a housing system, especially when you look at the kind of money that the Elder Scrolls Online makes. I mean, they sell houses for like, what, $60 or more real world money? Like, that's insane. Like, it's really crazy. That was the cost of the game at launch, and they'll sell you one house for that. How can how can ArenaNet not see opportunity there? It's honestly, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. All right.
Okay.
Poor Blish. Poor buddy. All right, so and again, that's certainly not the worst writing they've done. So, and part of the reason when we entered chapter 4, I said that this was not my least favorite chapter. Some of this stuff with, like, air and snap, like, I'm kind of iffy on. But like, the stuff with Blish is like real good, and some of the stuff with Zephyr is pretty interesting. So I am a fan of portions of this chapter. Straight up, like, legit a fan. And I am a fan of this. This is, if you don't jump if you don't jump off of the side there, this is one of the, I've literally never done that, so now it's super embarrassing that for the first time ever, even my first playthrough on this, I managed to not do that. Because your endurance refills each time you get a volatile magic, so somehow I managed to always avoid that up until this time. But this is, like, super cool. Whoever thought of this, like, when they were sitting around in the boardroom or doing their whole Scrum Master, Agile, project management, brainstorming, Lean Six Sigma nonsense, and somebody suggested this and came up with this and had this idea. Like, this is some of the coolest stuff, in my opinion, that they've done in terms of gameplay. Look at him, he's so smug. He's so excited. Oh, now he's figuring it out.
Please.
Did he say anything?
He said he's sorry.
So that's actually, like, that is... This is all better writing than they're normally capable of. Like, that is better dialogue than they usually do, and I really appreciate that.
We need to stop
Because the easy answer when writing dialogue is when Gorick puts together that Blish is gone, he just does, like, his little freak out thing, and he's like, "Oh, Blish, the humanity, the Asura-ness."
I wasn't ready to tell you, but my condition.
we're not going to do that whole thing. But yeah, timing needs to, there we go. Like, they've introduced it, now it needs to happen, timing needs to die. So this is to get like an armor set, which I do genuinely like. I like the armor set a lot. It's pretty good, but we're clearly not going to do it on this playthrough. So the easy answer on that dialogue would have been just for Gorik to just be like outraged or deeply upset. And so I think asking the question, did he say anything? Like that is a much more nuanced approach, and I wonder where they got it, because like they normally just don't demonstrate that, and they demonstrated it there. And then the follow-on line, but I saved him, shows insight into Gorik's character, and like I think is a more interesting thing than no, it can't be true. Let's take a 30-second walk through all the stages of grief kind of nonsense. Again, it's just more nuanced. It's a little bit more subtle, but not lost on anyone who's watching, or it shouldn't be. I mean, I guess if it is, then I don't know. I don't know what that means for. I don't know what it means for that person if they don't pick up what's happening right there. So, yeah, so interesting that they do such a better job there. And essentially this is the same for Irene, I suppose, as the doppelganger experience for us in Guild Wars 1, which is kind of duplicated a couple times in Guild Wars 2 in different ways. Alright. Oh. Nice. I don't need to die now. That doesn't help me now. I really should get out of this meteor shower. I don't know what I'm doing today. Like, I'm literally trying to die every opportunity I get, it seems. Alright, much better that time. I think last time it was genuinely a case of people not knowing. I really do. And I'm not saying that to ding them, because, we've already seen me really kind of ass things up as well. I think that's what happened, though, is we had folks who didn't realize that mechanic. And then I let that happen. Oh, I probably should have stayed in Shroud, to be honest. But yeah, we gotta take care of it. Now, I don't think we would get the achievement under any circumstances, because I don't have it active. Alright. This is good. So honestly, we're finding, as we work together, finding a degree of organization for a pug group, and that's good. Alright.
That's how I do it.
Okay, we need to get these things down, because we're gonna need some crystals sooner rather than later.
I could outrun a centaur.
There we go. Now we can start getting the Colossus. Look at that. He can't get to a crystal yet because he's not. So that's already kind of a problem for us, because that crystal did not get used to inflict damage on the boss. And that's kind of so that's the problem with folks. It's not just that they go down, but also that the crystal is not used. And that's really going to seriously affect the time issue. So we probably have already failed, honestly. They can keep trying, but like I don't feel good about our chances. Oh man, come on, pick it up, pick it up.
2, 3.
And then it is also helpful if you keep these active, and putting them too close together can be a little problematic if they're all where, you know, when the whatchamacallit pops up. The tentacles. When the tentacles pop up, if you're... You know, if these aren't spread out and you can't access them, then they don't help. I don't think those two are worth trying for. Getting low here.
Time to do some real damage.
Oh man. And there, see, so that was another crystal that didn't get thrown because he didn't get to it. So I don't see any way where it's even possible at this point. Pick it up, pick it up. Alright, so that's it. But I don't think it was 5 minutes. Oh, really? I didn't think that was even close. Well, that's great. All right, so we'll wrap it up for today. So what did we achieve? Not a lot in terms of like our numbers and stuff, right? So we are still at 74 mastery, although we're very close on Jackal to bolster. Actually, did we get... Oh, I lied. We got it. We're at 77 mastery now. So we did gain 3, and that was the bolster allies. So now we're working on our last thing for Jackal. And then, of course, we'll still have, you know, the pursuit of Skyscale. Still working on advanced gliding. Still working on auto loot. So we still got a few things there. I estimated we'd be somewhere a little bit over 100 when all was said and done. And it looks like that's going to put us at 85. Advanced gliding will put us at 93. And then, so I say 85... 93, what am I looking for? 97, 100. So it looks like we're going to land right at 100, and then whatever we end up getting with the Skyscale as well. So 100 or a tiny bit over when all's said and done. We made a little bit of gold today. So where do we stand on gold? We're now at 162, which isn't terrible. It's that slow, steady progress of just kind of chipping away. It is over our desired goal, but of course... there is going to be some gold that goes into the Skyscale process. You got to buy the little gifts that where you play with the Skyscale with these little toys. You got to buy those toys. They're like 10 gold each, and there's some other stuff. So we do need to get higher than that on gold. We did knock out a whole bunch of... In fact, we finished Chapter 4 of Season 4. We started Chapter 5. We're already working into that. We've already gained access to that map. Thunderhead Peaks. Did I actually remember the name this time? Because I always forget that. Nope, that's Bajor Marches. It's actually down here. There we go. Thunderhead Peak. So we've gained access to the map. It just doesn't look that way because we only made it as far as that right there. So we just barely walked in there and then we were done. So advance some story, a little bit of advancement on masteries. We did a few fractals and so forth. Moving in the right direction. Nothing monumental, but gradual process, and that's what we're, or progress, and that's what we're looking for. So I will have time to chip away some more tomorrow, and that's what we'll look to do. We'll continue to work on the Season 4 story, which we got to finish if we want Skyscale. And then we'll probably do some stuff to advance Mastery as well. And we're going to finish off these Return to achievements for the Chapter 4 map so that we can move on to Chapter 5, because these are necessary for the map currency for Skyscale, and there are still a few things that we're going to need. So I'll probably start my playthrough looking to get some of this done. I may actually do the race off camera just to get it done, or maybe I'll record it for YouTube, but I'm certainly not going to stream it. But this is probably the event that we will log in for and then play from there. So that's where we'll pick it up tomorrow. I hope everyone's enjoying their weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later.